I still remember the day I met her, my so-called best friend, like it was yesterday. We were in college, and I was immediately drawn to her outgoing personality and sense of humor. We quickly became inseparable, spending all our free time together, sharing our deepest secrets and supporting each other through thick and thin. Or so I thought. As time went on, I began to notice that she would often cancel our plans at the last minute, citing some family emergency or other commitment. I brushed it off, thinking that maybe she was just going through a tough time. But as the months went by, I started to feel like I was always the one making an effort to see her, to talk to her, to be there for her. Despite my growing concerns, I tried to push the thoughts aside and focus on the good times we had. We would go out, have fun, and I would feel like we were close again. But the truth was, I was slowly becoming her doormat. I was always available to listen to her problems, to offer advice, to lend a helping hand. And I did it all happily, because I genuinely cared about her. But as time went on, I started to realize that she wasn't doing the same for me. She wouldn't return my calls, wouldn't show up to our planned meetups, and when she did, she would dominate the conversation, barely letting me get a word in edgewise. I tried to talk to her about it, to express my feelings and concerns, but she would just brush it off, telling me I was being too sensitive, that I was overreacting. And I believed her, because I wanted to believe that our friendship was stronger than that. But deep down, I knew something was off. I knew that I was being taken advantage of, that I was being used for her own convenience. And it hurt. It hurt a lot. The final straw came when I discovered that she had been talking behind my back, sharing my deepest secrets with our mutual friends. I felt like I had been punched in the gut, like all the air had been sucked out of me. I couldn't believe that someone I trusted so much could betray me like that. I felt like I was living in a nightmare, like I was trapped in a never-ending cycle of pain and hurt. I didn't know what to do, how to process my emotions, how to deal with the fallout. I felt like I was losing myself, like I was disappearing into the abyss of her betrayal. But as I sat in my room, feeling sorry for myself, something inside of me clicked. I realized that I had a choice to make. I could let her betrayal define me, or I could rise above it. I could take back control, take back my life, and show her that I wouldn't be treated like that. So, I started small. I began to distance myself from her, to set boundaries, to prioritize my own needs and desires. It wasn't easy, but it was necessary. I started to focus on myself, on my own happiness, my own well-being. I started to pursue my own interests, my own passions. And slowly but surely, I started to feel like myself again. I started to feel strong, confident, and capable. But I knew that I couldn't just let her get away with what she had done. I knew that I had to take a stand, to show her that her actions had consequences. So, I started to quietly gather evidence, to document all the times she had lied to me, stepping out me, and betrayed me. I started to build a case, to prepare for the day when I would finally confront her. And then, the day arrived. I invited her over under the pretense of catching up and talking things through. But what she didn't know was that I had been planning this moment for months. I had been gathering my strength, my courage, and my resolve. And when she walked through the door, I was ready. I presented her with all the evidence, with all the proof of her betrayal. I showed her the messages, the emails, the screenshots. I showed her the trail of deceit, the web of lies. At first, she tried to deny it, to downplay it, to make excuses. But I wasn't having it. I stood my ground, firm and strong. I told her that I knew what she had done, that I knew she had been using me, manipulating me, and betraying me. And I told her that it was over. I told her that our friendship was done, that I deserved better, that I deserved to be treated with respect and kindness. The look on her face was priceless. It was a mix of shock, guilt, and shame. She knew she had been caught. She knew she had been found out. And in that moment, I felt a sense of satisfaction, of closure. I felt like I had finally gotten my revenge, like I had finally taken back control. But more importantly, I felt like I had learned a valuable lesson. I had learned that my worth, my value, my dignity were not defined by someone else's actions. I had learned that I was strong enough, capable enough, and deserving enough to stand up for myself. As I look back on that experience, I realized that it was a turning point for me. It was a wake-up call, a reminder that I deserve to be treated with love, kindness, and respect. And it taught me that sometimes the best revenge is not about hurting someone else, but about healing ourselves. It's about taking back our power, our voice, and our dignity. It's about standing up for ourselves and standing strong. And that's a lesson that I will carry with me for the rest of my life.